think it's always that fight between realism versus fun, and I
Yeah,
shouldn't have to ride on a 2 minute long tram just to get to my
yeah,
ship.
yeah. I actually appreciate it because with this game, and at least currently, where you can access your inventory. Now, when they move towards the inventory, where if you put that medical gun in the drawer next to your bed in your hab and you want it, you got to go back to your hab to get it. Then it will be different.
Yeah, that global inventory that's in a
Yeah.
city, it really changes things for you.
Yep.
I think that a workaround for that would be interesting. Would be if you do have a global inventory, but at all the major points of interest, there's like a box, like this magical box, and you just don't question it. Like so, you can queue up an item and you go to like that location, like a platinum bay sponsored blue box, and like it has like a hydraulic tube that comes out of the floor,
Yeah.
and whatever item you needed that from your bank style safety deposit box style inventory
Mm-hmm.
with the city, you can deposit and withdraw from it. I think that would be a way for them to kind of work around that and still keep the realism factor some players want.
I can see it being delivered to you. Say you need a courier run that's bonded,
Hmm.
and it's like go to my hab and grab this stuff, and basically a timer ticks and then somebody shows up. Because I mean the whole thing, they are trying to get that whole realism factor thing down. And as much as I get your box, and yeah, I don't necessarily want to waste time left and right, the whole game is just about choice and preparation, and all this stuff. So if you go in your dir or your carrick, however many, and whoever's going, you have to prep yourself. And if you forgot something, you forgot it, type deal. So, but at the same time, what you're saying would help you if you go, dang it, I forgot the ammo for my weapon, or whatever. So you wouldn't have to run back. But then again, just like real life, it would teach you not to forget the next time.
Yeah.
It's like I locked my keys in the car. Well, we'll see how many times you do that. Oh, you named it after your city.
Hmm.
Oh, I guess we don't have a friend invite, so I can't open it.
There you are. Oh, you're near the front.
Yeah, I'm down at the bottom.
Hang on, I got you. And you are on my friends list. I'll have you know.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not in a party, so
Party.
I can't.
Hang on, I'm gonna invite you. I think when I was on this server and it was full, that kind of
Yeah,
like threw everything through a loop when I was trying to get this
yeah,
going.
that would make sense.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, that's way quicker.
Now I should be able to open it. Yep, unless you happen to just. Well, you can't send just that
See,
down.
even like the flow. I'm in the back part right now. That's going to be the new modules.
Oh, I see you now.
The
Yeah.
common space, technically right now, and I
Correct.
have to like go up to go back.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
really
that's
awkward.
exactly what they talked about, improving the flow. And
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just it needs to be done. Oh, you're coming over there. Okay.
yeah, I didn't take but I went to the
Yep.
lower figuring.
Say
Oh, there
hello.
you are.
Hey, you weren't kidding about the snow camo.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
So
Got my
I parked this here so the if we wanted to spawn vehicles we could just kind of see how that feels, but I don't
mm-hmm.
know how far we'll end up.
Okay, so let's put a tank in here. Oh no, that's the new one.
So you know what? Why don't we go now that you've just come inside and warmed up? Let's go back outside real quick.
Yeah.
So here the thing about that tank. I hit exit ship. I
I like
think
your
you can
character,
come.
by the way.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's
most of the time
the hair sticking up type look. That's
I like that
very
one. Yeah.
very roguish.
In most games, actually, I'm usually the engineer or like the anti-tank if I'm playing a shooter. Like I'm usually the person that brings a lot of equipment. That's
Uh huh.
In D&D, my characters are usually sorks. Actually, I don't know why. It just
Are usually
clicks with
what?
me. Sorcerers.
Oh, sorcerers. Yeah, I
Yeah.
play a lot of them too.
So
Mostly because charisma is about the only thing I've been gifted with my disabilities. So I love the
oh,
idea of using your charisma to mold things that you need to do.
heck yeah, that's awesome.
Do you
Play to
want
your
to go
strengths,
grab
man.
a vehicle?
Sure.
You want me to grab a Ursa?
I'm not sure honestly what we can grab, but we can definitely. We only have one ship here, so we can definitely both grab something.
And the
Yeah.
Ursa for RSI, and then a Gravlev for Origin. You know, back in the day, I'm talking years ago,
Yeah,
that I
hover
thought
tank
that
race.
that would make sense. But
It would be awesome, but I'm not sure if that was Jared kind of slipping that in.
I
as
just died.
no,
I just blew up going off the ramp.
That doesn't. See, if you were in a hover tank.
Yeah, I know. That's never happened to me before.
And
Luckily,
this is
I'm
usually
here,
the
so I
place.
didn't lose anything. But
Yeah, thank goodness. But this is usually the place to go for if you have a ground vehicle.
oh shoot! Except I think I'm up at Port Tressler
How
because
in-
that's where I set my spawn.
Oh.
You know, for when I die. Yeah, it's okay. I actually have some stuff I've kept up here because I landed here when I looted once. I really didn't.
Do you want me to just come
wanna
up to you?
switch it. Yeah, I suppose you can do that, but I can grab a throwaway Buccaneer and just zip down there. It won't take me
Oh, okay.
too long. I keep several ships up here, like my Buccaneer, Hawk, and not Hawk, Arrow, because I don't do fighting, but I got loner fighters. So they're usually the ones I'll spawn up and keep up here as my little shuttle to get back to where I want to be, as opposed to where I don't want to be. Oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute. No, I am here.
Oh, okay. That's even better.
And the elevator just threw me on top. That was kind of weird. I thought they fixed that. It threw me on top of the elevator when the elevator arrived. So all of a sudden, I'm standing on top of it. I'm not dead. I was able to walk off and fall through. I think that's the key thing when they make their collision. Make the collision only from the side you're supposed to be on, but don't collision from the other side. So that way, if any player gets stuck there, they can just walk through it and get to where they need to be.
Makes sense. So, I'm squeezing an Ursa rover on this thing, and it's pretty small, honestly. The current configuration.
Yeah, when they said it fits a rover, I mean, it barely fits a rover.
Yeah, it really it's a tight fit. Like you're banging your wheels into it just to get it on, just to get an Ursa on here. And to
Yeah.
me, that's like the standard. If you can fit an Ursa rover, that's the standard to me. That's like the vehicle to have.
Yeah, technically. I would agree for a large class or bigger, vehicle.
Yep.
I mean,
It
the
fits.
Valkyrie fits one at least, and it's kind of towards the smaller side, but your spirits and cutlasses and freelancers, those type of size. Cyclone should be the standard, which the freelancer doesn't meet, but the spirit and the cutlass do.
Right, but when you get to like the 600i size,
Then you got to jump up to Ursa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because each of the vehicles are classed differently. Because wasn't it last year that they were talking, or maybe it was with the Centurion, they were talking about somebody let slip something about extra large vehicles, John Crew.
Yep.
And you're going, and then everybody was like, talking about the Jawa sand crawler, thinking that that's the next size, large vehicle. But in some ways, if we have tanks, they have the tank recovery vehicles, so you would need something bigger, right?
Well, unless the repurposed Crucible or SRV can tow, like the SRV could tow it to safety, or
True.
the Crucible
Yeah.
could like put it on its pad, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you are right about that. But I mean, it just seems odd that he mentioned, because they classified the weapons and they had an extra large,
Could
class.
be.
So
It could be.
I don't know if that's something they planned or just an idea they tossed about. That's the thing. You don't know any of this.
I could see a vehicle that's like a portable shield generator to defend an outpost with. And the idea is that until you like get inside its shield with small arms and take it, disable it,
Right.
you have to take ground vehicles through the shield in order to fight it. I could see that, or I could see a ship-to-ship style single turret on the back of a deployable thing that takes minutes to deploy, and its
Mm-hmm.
whole job is to defend an outpost. Because I think they're gonna have to figure that out right now.
Oh my God, you just made me think of something. I was thinking of this big ground defense launcher, or even a space something with the size 10 Polaris torpedoes on it,
Yeah, why
you
not?
know, trying to get those in a position to launch would be very crazy. Oh wait, I'm in the
It would
wrong
take
place.
significant amount of time and resources and everything else you could think of, but I could see it. I really could.
You are still down there, right?
Yes, for now, but the
Okay.
Ursa's acting weird.
Oh,
So I'm just going to
jeez.
send it up on its own.
Have you set your spawn
Okay.
point nearby? I'm sprinting across in my my hospital gown. I forgot I didn't suit up.
I
I'm
see
like,
the elevator going. This is good.
yeah.
So yeah, so the vehicles I think are really cool. I like the visibility on the vehicle, even though I don't like the style of the pad. I think the clearance from the front of the ship is actually kind of nice, with the Ursa rover being able to just roll right in. I did not worry at all about like overhangs.
Yeah.
And I think at the back of the ship, though, it sits deeper on the back of the ship where the new pad is going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if they're going to rework the exterior or the bottom of the ship. They have gone on the record before and said, "Oh, we're not going to change up the exterior at all."
Minor changes,
Yeah.
remember? Because they're right here. Uh, if we go below, the docking collar from the exterior of the ship, which I know you can go to exterior
Mm-hmm.
from here. If you look, you can see the round area where they're going to put it was like pre-designed for it. So that's your docking collar right there. I'm looking on the exterior on the port side. I assume they're doing port side because that's why it's called the port side. This is supposed to be the side that faces the port.
Yeah.
So they moved, because what's directly behind that right now, though, is the well, I don't know if that's directly. It depends how big the bedroom is.
Well, let's go down that floor and we
Yeah.
can really get a look.
Should have dressed more stylish for the video. So
It's a shame we're not
it's
on
too
the
bad.
890. I've got plenty of white armors. No kidding.
Yeah, well. So this is the part that they said is not changing at all. The bridge, they're changing a little bit. They said to waste less space. My assumption is similar to the 890 that has its 4 computers right there on the bridge that pop out of the wall, that they're going to move the avionics or put one there, or maybe even pop up from that middle section behind the seat. But did you hear a rumor that they might reverse it and put the pilot up front?
Yes, I did hear that, and I also heard down here, because I consider this, interestingly, like, the way I think CIG thinks is, like, this whole portion of the front of the ship is kind of, like, all one design. I think that this is going to be left alone with this window, but they did say there was a minor alteration in one of the older videos. I think they said they moved the bathroom from this side of the ship, and from
Correct.
this room to this side of the ship, and then they moved
And
this
the
over
reason why, my thinking, right now we have the elevator here that goes up both floors in this area. Traditionally you have your docking port on the right side, or the port side, the left side. So if they do that, they'd have to move the elevator to where the bathroom is. So
Right.
by moving the bathroom over here on this level, your bathroom's here. Up above is your docking collar to get on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that would allow you to move the lift to this side. So this would be the lift where you would get on the bottom and then go up. And they said the lift no longer exits this one. It's
Yes.
only for getting between the floors.
Yeah, Gibson said that. He was saying that
But
the circular lift does not go outside.
yeah, but they also added 2 lifts to the modular section. So both modules have their own lifts to go outside the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And then the exploration module also has the vehicle cargo lift.
Well, yes, and that once again, so the idea is that this doorway back is a module right now, above our
Currently,
heads
correct.
in this one, but this is going to go to the back of the ship where there's more room to work with, and technically 3 floors to work with.
And these 2 floors we've already seen.
Yeah.
This is now the hull locked crew quarter area.
Mm-hmm.
So down here, from the looks of the pictures, which I'm sure you could insert,
Yep.
when you're looking, now this is the narrower portion of the ship. The reverse angle is facing the rear of the ship. You can see the 2 doors that are located in there that pass by that look like they're on side walkways.
Well,
And
yeah,
the stairways are right where these posts are to get down, right?
I think
And then
that's the deal. Yeah.
and you have 4 bedrooms down here, and then you have the balcony up above with 2 chairs. Underneath that's your eating table for the
Interestingly,
crew.
both are getting it. That's one of the interesting things. Like, there's going to be a touch of class for the Explorer version. That's going to be really fancy looking. They're
Well,
kind of carrying that legacy from this one, where behind the module, there's like that joint area in the back, that bar
yeah,
slash eating area is.
yeah, they're making a nice, comfy common area. But since it's hull locked, it's just like if we go back to the crew quarters, the barrack style 4 open floor area. They just moved that up here to the front. Then they
Right.
added a kitchen. They added the table. I don't know what else. I wish it had a pool table still, but oh well. There's an extra door in the reverse angle picture, which you can see next to one of the bedrooms, because it looks like 2 bedrooms on either side, but there's actually an extra door. Now, I don't know if there's bathrooms in the quarters and that's something else, or if that is the bathroom for all 4, because there's not a equivalent door on the opposite side of the room. So I found that kind of intriguing. Cargo / vehicle area and the armory take up a lot of the module space on the exploration module. So there's not much left over. The thing that you have there is, it looks like you have the armories above, and obviously your vehicle,
Right.
this is down below. But the thing they
Let's-
didn't show is the big window area. That's what they haven't shown. And even John Cruz said, without spoiling something. So I think when they do the layout, they actually want to show what they've done up there. And my guess is some kind of observation lounge
Probably.
where you have your scanner system, a hollow globe. And how great is it to have that set up like on a Javelin or whatever, where you can look out and actually see the thing you're scanning physically, as well as the hollow scanner. Have your your exploration stations, whatever you want to call them, scanning, whatever.
Yeah,
And I think up
science stations,
there,
they call them on the Jav.
yeah. Yeah. So you'd have the science stations there. You'd also have the medical station. That's probably all up in that upper area. And that's what I foresee it being. In fact, you might even be able to that one angle of the touring that we got that has the big long 8-person table underneath the back window. And then it looks like you have a bar, a double-sided bar in the area. What I thought was a mirror when I was discussing somebody because of the shape, it looks like beyond that you can see to the right side a door, and that's the door that goes down to the pool and bar and sauna and all that stuff. on the touring section.
Which is a baby version of the 890s accessories, facilities, amenities. There we go.
like Cruz, John Cruz said, he's like, yeah, you just scale things down and boom, it's done. And of course, the artist, I'm forgetting his name, the other guy that was talking with John, it's like, oh yeah, you make it sound so easy.
Well, these are the crew areas here that we were talking about a little earlier. That everybody was suggesting, why don't they just put basically privacy walls and then leave this as a common hallway? Yeah. But with the redesign, moving these forward, it clearly changes the whole dynamic of this space, which is, I think, for the better. I think that design is really interesting. And you mentioned bathrooms. Aside from the escape pods, which obviously have to take up a certain amount of space, each one of these personal escape pods, the bathrooms are kind of egregiously large. This hallway here is really big. And yes,
come on, we're talking Origin, Red.
And then right here, you have these massive, massive crew bathrooms. And there's two, because of course, I guess a men's and a women's room, or it's just,
it's just
unisex, but there's two. Honestly, they should just have one. Like, I mean, there's only 4 crew beds.
I agree. I mean, there's one bathroom for 3 on the 400i. So, but at the same time, this was designed, if you think luxury, I always pictured the 600i Exploration, unlike a lot of people, as a luxury RV where the owner goes out with a bunch of friends or family. So everybody kind of knows each other. And so the barracks weren't too bad of a deal, but you still have all the luxury and room and amenities.
Well, yeah, but this is just for the crew, these spaces.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But on the Exploration, you are the only people in the ship.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it's like a RV bus to me, with room for the Lamborghini slung underneath, like I've seen on the internet, those real nice shots. You realize where we were is the new Rover Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those guest quarters are at the bottom.
I don't know if a Nova's going to fit. I do not know if a Nova's going to fit in that thing, because the problem with that space is not the space. It's the problem of how much did they scale up off the bottom of the ship to fit that tank to roll underneath it.
But remember, this hallway is gone here, where we're standing here. This bi-level situation with the stairs leading up. They said they were flattening the deck, so there wasn't so much up and down motion.
Now,
so
that's the thing. It's like, hang on, I can afford it.
But a Nova would fit in here. It's not tall enough, but it will fit.
The thing is, the landing gears at the back and the way the ship is shaped, it's going to be a very tight fit trying to get the Nova in. Like the 400i trying to get a Cyclone MT in there. At first it worked. It like squeaked in. I was one of the people that made a video of that. And then like 48 hours later or something, they did a hot fix, or maybe a little bit longer. And all of a sudden the 400i, because of the adjustments to the landing gear they had to make to allow the Cyclone MT to get in with that big turreted rooftop,
bounce everywhere.
Yeah, it was a big problem for certain kind of landing zones and rough landings. With the 400i, it was taking damage, so they switched it back. And also for the looks, there was a concern about the front landing gear. Now, when I look at the landing gears on this 600i, I think there is room here, and I think that the ship kind of bows downwards in the middle of the ship. Like if you're looking at the exterior design.
Agreed.
I think if they're going to put a tank in here, they're going to have to figure out a way to do it from the front. If they raise it,
the back actually flares up, and they said the exterior was not but the exterior they said wasn't going to change, right? And but they didn't say anything about the landing gear. They just said it's general shape. There's minor changes. So in fact, they're even changing. I think they're moving the guns or allowing them to be retracted or something, because he talked about their attachment points. Mm-hmm. I assume he's talking about the turrets that have the little spindly, too small things on them, is my guess. But they're going to be moving and shuffling. They're still using the general shape. But I agree that I'm looking at the exterior right now from behind, and you can't fit you'd hit the cables for the landing gear,
Right.
if not fit. So yeah, they're probably, and I've actually heard, I think Ollie and maybe Ferrister, a few people made a comment that the landing gear just don't look stylish enough. You know, they don't look as original. They look more clunky. The front one's not bad, but well, the front one's actually worse in some ways. It's a
The
little
front
chicken
one
leg.
needs well, they need something small there because there's so much stuff crammed up there.
Yeah,
But
I
with the
agree.
redesign, they might be able to finagle something. The 890, a lot of the front internal space under the pool is
Just a huge,
it's just
yeah,
that massive imposing landing gear. They did a
I
good
agree.
job highlighting that though. It was a few IAEs ago when the 890 first came out or something. It was sitting in the Origin showroom front and center. Just that huge landing gear with all the little
Yep.
Origin ships underneath
Oh,
it.
I remember that. So
Yeah.
it's what we're looking at from the side view, that cross sectional that I
Mm-hmm.
sent you, that I dug up, is from where I'm standing now, or it might be adjusted. We have 2 decks from this point forward.
Yes.
Then we're shifting to 3 decks from this part forward. But this corridor may or may not exist. I think they're utilizing all the way up to this area to the forward.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of the touring, you look at it, for example, the way that there's the top area of the crew quarters, kind of like walkways up there.
Let's go up.
You have
Let's go up one floor.
you have yeah, that's why I called it down. Yeah, the stairs step down into the crew bedrooms.
Right.
And if you continue through and go through the door, you have another set of stairs that step into. See, here you go. You get this weird kind of awkward
Yep.
stair
It's like a split level
here.
house.
Yeah, that's the armory, which I
Now,
always like this armory.
I like this armory. I don't like the placement. I wish it was
It's
near
right
an
outside
exit.
an elevator.
Well,
Oh, but that elevator don't go to the ground.
yes.
And
So,
it's another level from the rover too.
no, yeah,
Um,
the armory is something where like you should be able to come into the ship and immediately go to the armory because like let's say you're at an abandoned outpost in Pyro or something and it's full of bad bugs that are trying to kill everybody and it's poisoned or something, and then all of a sudden, and like the idea is that like if you're covered in some toxic goo from a place you were just mining that's uber rare stuff but very dangerous, or you know the bugs venom is all over you or whatever, you
yeah.
want to go to a place where you can go into a armory or some type of kind of like mud room, if you will, for
Hmm.
more conventional terms. Stow the suit away, and then grab your comfy clothes. You know, now that you're done for the battles, you're done for the day, right? You did you did your
Yep.
duty, and now it's time to put your weapons away and put your suit away and just kind of kick back. And that's kind of the idea with a lot of them. By the way, I'm going to start sewing the ship just because I have to take up in a minute. But
Understood.
but that's kind of the idea, is that I hope that flow gets translated. And I'm a realist. I understand there might be actual technical limitations that CIG has to factor in for that type of topic. They might need to turn around and go, okay, we can't really accommodate those desires. We can't take care of that like maybe players could dream up. But
Right.
as much as they can, it would be nice to see that.
Yeah. I would agree with that. You still there?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm powering up 6,000 thrusters because I turned them all off so the noise and the engines would stop kicking up dirt while we were talking.
Yeah, that's always interesting.
Yeah, the buttons are not functioning on the power down engine or whatever engine off button. I couldn't find it. It was totally either bugged or it's got moved since the last time I've tried to do it on this ship.
And with no water. So that's kind of the touring ones I just sent across on Discord. And what I was showing is the first picture that shows the stairs that lead down from the top deck, at least in this part of the ship. It's the top down to the bottom to where you have the bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one, that reverse angle, you can see there's two doors side by side, and the one that's on the left side closest to the main airlock door is something. I don't know what, but it's not a bedroom, because if you look at the first picture, it kind of shows the one picture that's a bedroom, and then underneath the stairs you can see another. So those are two bedrooms, and I think across the hall is the exact same, mirrored image.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your 4 crew quarters. The other one, that's either the bathroom, maybe a storeroom, I don't know what. Then you have that main airlock there, and that's facing the back of the ship towards the rear is my guess from the angle of it. But how the stairs lead down, if you look to the third picture I sent you, the pink, those also lead down to what I assume is kind of from the very top down to a lower area. And if you look in the shot with the 8-person table, if you look, you see a bartender there. Then there's another image that I thought was somebody facing away, but if you look to the left there, you can see the pink chandeliers from the previous picture.
Yep, they're sneaking in there.
So when you step down, you go down the stairs, you end up there, and I think this is a double-sided bar, so it like bar on both sides. And then there's that door in the background that I think, and again, we're just theory crafting here, but I think that that's the one that if you look at the very last picture that I sent you, because I only sent you the touring ones as of now,
Mm-hmm.
I think that door to the right of the pool area is the lift from up above to get down to this, because I think this is on the lower section.
I firmly believe that too, because they went and said one of our big priorities was no wasted space.
Yep.
So having the double-sided bar, having rooms that have multi-utility, even things as simple as having that fountain system, or like turning all that junk off and just using it as a regular relaxing pool meditation place. Yeah.
And the other thing that I was thinking is you take that elevator, which is if you look at the back deck, the one under with the big table, you look where that elevator is, you space out where the pool and spa and sauna area is. That looks like it might come out to where the main bartender is standing. That leaves this whole rear deck underneath the table. That must be where the 4 staterooms, I assume, for the guests are.
Ooh, that's a good point, because the pool in the 890 is actually rather shallow, and when you go below it, that's where the big old front landing gear's hidden.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But they show us all this, and I'm like, well, is this just supposed to be a ship that you tour around, that there's nowhere for people to sleep? It's like a day cruise? And I'm like, I thought that, it'd be more than the E1, that it actually,
Right.
would have it. And that's when I was looking at this, and I'm going, they must have 4, I'm assuming 4 staterooms, if not more, because the original touring as it exists now has 4, right? 4.
Yes. It has the 4
So
rooms wrapped around, and then the owner suite.
yeah. So I assume that that's what they'll do down below here. And I don't see any food area yet, too. And they said there's 3 decks, and I'm assuming that that's on the bottom. And then basically behind the pool deck area is where the bathrooms. I mean, we'll find out here in a month, because they did say that they would do a layout, show us the layout.
Mm-hmm.
So we should get a full idea of where everything they intend. Again, concept, things change, but and then the one thing, and then I sent you these in order. Mine was out of order as far as the original setup on how I downloaded it.
Gotcha.
So now, at least for yours, I'm trying to get so now I'm sending the exploration shots. You got the front forward shot.
This is Red J in the future. As of rendering day, I just wanted to include that little bit here and there of how me and Mason work together. Had some people come up to me and talk to me, actually, as of yesterday in real life at Bar Citizen. But I've had people chat with me on Discord and other such about how I put together my videos, ideas on how to put together a complex topic. You can see that we had a lot of issues with this one, trying to just do the logistics of moving the vessels, vehicles blowing up on a ramp, um, and also the just keeping all the different sources going well. The 600i cutaway that Mason found, I want to give a good shout out to the R Star Citizen folks who put that together and made that really propped it up and made sure it was visible. I'm going to include a link below. Well, I'm going to include the name below and thank you to them, and I should be able to find the link to the original article. I have a habit of talking myself into yet more work all the time. But once again, thank you to the community, both in this and other sources that I find. Also, thank you to CIG for putting together these sizzle shots, I guess you could call them, for the new 600i Explorer and the 600i Touring. As a reminder, they should be modules that are transferable. So if you're new to this game, or if you're just new to the larger ships, be aware that you only need one, and then in game at a later date there will be a way to change between the two modules. So if you have a Touring, it's a little cheaper. You will be able to switch to an Explorer later. However, I'm going to point out the obvious right now. The Explorer is going to be stronger when it has medical capabilities, when it appears that it's going to have regeneration, and also be able to fit larger vehicles. Do not expect it to fit a Nova. Be pleasantly surprised if it can. It's going to fit very large vehicles, though, and have reasonable storage. That being said, the Touring is very interesting, and I'm not going to go really in-depth about either one of them at the moment because, well, this video is like a 37-minute mark now, and we are clearly into overtime. So, yes, wanted to thank everybody who made it this far. Please, please, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to my long-term subscribers. It's appreciated. You folks are what I do it for. I know the ships are very desirable topics to talk about. This was an experimental kind of back and forth with Mason. He is a wealth of knowledge, and I think between my experiences and his, and our sleuthing, I hope made a clear decision, especially coming into IAE. The entirety of this video was shot in 3.17.3. Unfortunately, 3.17.4's PTU is not up yet, but as soon as it is, rest assured I will be in there, and hopefully I'll run into a few of you. And yeah, the IE lobby will be pretty cool. Maybe we can have a Nerf the Nerf gunfight like we did last year. I have some of my best experiences just around the big events, testing out the lobbies and checking out the different vendor stuff, and some of the new little sound bites and very simple things like that, and talking with each other, finding out who has what kind of ship. Let's go fly them together and have a good time. If the rumors are true, it looks like it's going to be Microtech this year. Once again, it's just a rumor. I think that's a very good spot. If you haven't already been out to Microtech, be advised it's on the far reaches of the system. So if it does turn out to be at Microtech, you would want to set your spawn point there if you have only a smaller vessel. Not all ships can make it to Microtech in one shot. You may have a very complex route that you have to quantum through, all these different Lagrange point type stations, go refill, get back on the route, and yeah, you may be either a pain or impossible to do so. And also, all your stuff, remember, is at your home system. So if this is your first IAE, or you haven't been to Fleet Week yet and such, just remember that you want all your stuff with you. And one last thing, back to this topic on the video about the 600i. I just wanted to mention that I think this is going to be a winner, both types of ships. I know the Explorer really outshines the Touring right now, but I believe that based on what I'm seeing, it's almost like a mini cruise ship that we're going to see in the 600i Touring. I think it's going to be a great place to hang out. In the future, it's going to have VIP missions. And while we don't know exactly what those will bring, I do know that that's one more different gameplay loop that only certain kinds of ships in the game can enjoy. So I can't help but think that it's going to be quite a ship, especially because the common areas are already going to be rock solid. A lot of the issues that long-term owners have had are being addressed with this rework. Based on what we're seeing, it's looking very positive. And always remember, the 600i triple size 5 guns, the serious shields, all pilot controlled. In a group, the ship is a menace. And PvE by yourself, even, it is quite a lot of fun to break into a lot of content with. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, want to wish y'all a wonderful night and fly safe.